Lies by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Though dice and woes alike, love deprived, look at her vibe. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise, crystal chandeliers, focus reflected. Off the mirrors appear clear, running from ear to ear. Craving that raven and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near, stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, we know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams. In paradise, truth is what you can see.
Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. And you know what day it is clearly because you can see where I am located at. It is Tuesday, and of course, we're at Georgia's Happy Hog, 712 Culbertson Drive, just east of Lincoln, south of the of the state capitol, and north of the OU Medical Center right there on Lincoln. You can't miss it, right across from the Harn Homestead. If that street that goes into Harn, that is Culbertson. So if you go left instead of if you're going north, you want to make a right on Culbertson. If you're going left, if you're going back south, you want to make a left. So depending on which way you're going, you'll come in and it's just 2 blocks east of Lincoln right here on Culbertson. You can call for catering or any events at 405-525-8111. They are open Monday through Saturday from 11 to 7. So anytime you want to check them out, come on by. I promise you they have great food. Barbecue is fantastic. And, of course, today I'm getting my usual. Of course, I definitely have my watermelon sweet tea right here to substitute and give me what I need. So anyway, they have hot links. They have smoked chicken. Those chicken wings don't last long. You got to get in here pretty early for those because by about now those wings are completely gone. So you got to be really careful and get in here quick for those. They have mac and cheese every Tuesday and Friday, which is one of the reasons why I'm here on Tuesday. And then, of course, they have greens and green beans and coleslaw, baked beans if you want that. Me, on the other hand, I'm either green beans or greens. One of those two are for me. And then, of course, the lemon cake is fantastic. They have some dessert. They have a bunch of different desserts depending on what flavor you want or what you're looking for. So that being said, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Hope you're enjoying this. This weather's warmed up just a little bit. I'm ready for it to be warm. Have a golf tournament this weekend on Friday, so I definitely need for the weather to be nice for that because I hate playing in the cold. Anyway, so today we should have on my guy. Oh, by the way, our show, our remote broadcast is brought to you by YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender, a member of the FDIC. And remember, if you want to pre-qualify online, you can do that at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go into one of their remote locations. Now, I'm at the 401 Elm Street, the main bank is the one I always go into. And but you can go in there, you can see the Horn Man, Joe Horn, or you can go see Carson Wright or Nathan Taylor or any of the other people that are there. And of course, Drew would talk about going to see his mama, Carolyn. But you can also go into YNB East, which is just about 2 miles east of the main bank, right there on 66 and Yukon Parkway. The Mustang location at 213 North Mustang Road, right there in the growing metropolis. I don't know if it's necessarily a metropolis, but the growing city of Mustang, Oklahoma. YNB Parkway, which is right off of Garth Brooks and I-40, right in front of, I believe it's the Integris Hospital, right there off I-40 and Garth Brooks. You can't miss this right there, right across the street from Louis. And then, of course, the bank that I always go to is YNB Peoples, which is on 23rd between MacArthur and Rockwell. So we appreciate their support in allowing us to go out and do these live streams at these minority women and black-owned businesses. So we appreciate YNB. And that being said, this is a huge night for basketball in general. Okay, you can see that I've got my OSU stuff on and my Thunder because there's two huge games tonight. The Thunder have a huge game against the Clippers. OSU's game is probably more important simply because it is in the NIT. And here is the bracket. And you can see where OSU is right now. We play North Texas tonight at home at 6 o'clock. So if you can go to Gallagher Rapids tonight, please, by all means, go up. I'm gonna leave the training early to get to Gallagher, try to get back, watch that, and then of course be back in time to watch the Thunder Clippers game tonight. But anyway, it's a huge game for Oklahoma State. It gets them into the Final Four of the NIT there at the Orleans Arena in Vegas. So that's a huge win. And of course, we'll play the winner of Oregon and Wisconsin. So that's a huge deal for OSU. That's why I said that the Thunder have 11 games left. So this is a big game for them against the Clippers. But I think this is an even bigger game right now for OSU simply because it gets them into the Final Four, which I believe makes all the difference in the world and just a tribute to what Coach B has done to get everybody on the same page and considering. And I do believe uh, Avery got his cast off yesterday, I believe. I don't know if that means he's going to play or not. I don't know what that really means, but hopefully he can get back in time to at least play in the Final Four, if not the championship game. And I don't know if that's going to screw up OSU's chemistry since he has not played. I'm not sure exactly what that will or will not do. But right now, the OSU is rolling and we hope the Cowboys win tonight, and we hope that everybody gets a chance to go out to Stillwater tonight to watch the game, especially since the Thunder are playing on the road, so there's really no conflict there. The Thunder play tonight at 9:30, so there's really uh, no rush for that. And speaking of the Thunder, of course, they're playing the Clippers tonight. The Clippers are 38 and 34. The Thunder are 35 and 36, +7. And then the over and under is 238.5. And of course, my guy Drew Hinthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com will be on, I believe, the show later to tell us about I have his picks, but we shall see. Uh, we shall see what he has to say about that because he does have some picks. But I'm gonna let him talk about who he has because we missed him yesterday, and also we'll have my guy High Stick Harry Bendilman on today talking a little bit about hockey because we missed him. He was with his lovely wife Kylie this weekend watching his beloved Bruins play. So anyway, we'll be able to talk about that. But it's gonna be a great show. But we've got a full tilt because like I said, this is an important game. Like I said, the OSU game is probably more important. But what I'm talking about the game tonight, how important this game is for the Thunder, is really simple. And here are the keys. We have to get off to a good start. We've got to play great perimeter defense because of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And so we've got to watch them. And Russell's going to do what Russell does. But we have to move without the basketball because when we move without the ball, we are so good at what we do. We score very easily. And I'm going to throw up the stats here so you can see what our Thunder stats are as far as when we guard on the defense, what we're doing outside, what we're talking about is points in the paint, which when we move it out the basketball, that's what we get, where points in the paints go up, and that makes a huge difference. And then most of all, you have to play within your capabilities. And what I mean by that is, is that the Thunder have to make sure that there's gonna be some flows again. They're gonna get into a flow. They're gonna make a run. We're gonna make a run. They're gonna make a run. When they make the run, don't get all excited. Don't start coming up shooting a bunch of threes. Just take care of the basketball and score two. Because what I've said many times, when they score three, if you score two, that's only a 1 point differential. You haven't really lost a whole lot. And you can see that's exactly what SGA did when he's on the court. We shoot less threes because the other team will go down and shoot a three. He'll come down and make a two. The other night, Chris Paul did that. We knocked down a three. He came down and hit a two. We knocked down a three. They came back, got another two. That's only a 2 point difference in swing in the game versus a 6 point swing in the game. Huge difference. So the Thunder have to play within their capabilities, not guys try to go out and do a bunch of stuff that they're not capable of doing. If we do that, we are going to be in trouble, especially being a 7 point underdog, which I think that's really high. But once again, it's going to depend on our coach. It's going to depend on who he plays. And, we've talked ad nauseum, or I've talked ad nauseum about this. And then I've had people come up to me and talk to me about this and go, hey, I thought you're crazy, but now watch. And you're right. I go, I told you I'm right. You just got to pay attention. This guy is making decisions that's going to help or hurt. We have 11 games left. We've already dropped one game. And let me show you what I mean by that. Well, let me finish my talk first. Now I get on that and tell you why. He costs us because of his lineup change. He's playing 12 people. This is playoff basketball. If you want to get into the playoffs, you got to play playoff basketball now. What would it mean for the Thunder fans, for the Thunder Nation, for us to get into the playoffs when nobody expected us to have nothing but 23 and a half wins? What would that mean for us? That means ticket sales go up. That means the enthusiasm for the team goes up. That means the confidence for the players go up. Youngest team in the league, you make the playoffs. That doesn't normally happen. Or we could have been like Houston, where Houston is just building a culture of losing because they're tanking. You're building that culture. And Draymond called him out. I'm not a big Draymond fan, but he called him out the other day talking about how you can build a culture of one way or the other. The Warriors have built a culture of winning. The Thunder need to build the same culture. And what SGA and Josh, and especially I'm just going to say those two because those are our two leaders, went into the office and said, look, we're not trying to tank. Screw draft picks. We've got a good team here. Let's win. And you can see these players based on and like all I've said is watch their reactions when he puts certain players in the game. Watch their reactions. You can look at the bench and they'll look at each other like, what's he doing? Because as I've said many times, basketball is the one sport you know if somebody's better than you. You have to play the right players to maximize your opportunities to win games. If you don't do that, you're in trouble. And that's where the Thunder get themselves because you can't have Lindy Waters and Jank playing. And what I've said, here's the Thunder roster, and I'm going to pull it up so you can see exactly what I'm saying. Because if you look at other teams and you look at what they're doing and who they have on the court, and you can just see it, it's like, dude, we're playing 12 guys. We played 12 guys the other night. And it wasn't until you put in the right five in the second quarter, the right five in the fourth quarter that you made the run and ran away. And what I don't understand from this coach is, why don't you get that? How do you not know who your best players are? How do you not know that? Here's our roster right now as it stands. You've got SGA, Isaiah Joe. Those are your three main guards, okay? Now, of those guys, SGA clearly is your main guy. Then you got Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, who is J-Dub. So those are your five. So of those five, you got three starters, J-Dub, SGA, and Josh. That's your three-headed monster right there in the guard group. Forwards, you got Lou Dortz and Aaron Wiggins, which are your two best defenders. And Aaron Wiggins is probably your best wing defender, which showed up the other night when we needed to beat the Suns. Where were they killing us on the wings because of who you had in lineup? Lindy Waters can't play defense, neither can Jane. So what do? You put Aaron Wiggins in there, all of a sudden the tempo picks up. The players, you can just see them getting excited because they're like, finally, we got players in here, let's go. And you can just see the difference. Then your power forwards are Dario Sarge and Kendrick Williams, who is hurt now, which is now Jane. And then your centers are J-Dub and Jeremiah Robinson Earl. And so now really Sarge is your extra center because Jeremiah Robinson Earl is just not playing well. He's just not. And then your reserves are Lindy Waters, Jang, and Omen Uri. And Omen Uri can't play. Lindy Waters should not be playing. And Jang should be playing sparingly here and there because he's taking the place of Kendrick Williams, if that's possible. But he is just not ready. Jeremiah Robinson Earl has been one of my favorite guys. But since he came back from injury, he's not ready. So that gives you your starting five of SGA, Josh, J-Dub, Lou Dort, and J. Will. And I'm going to show you some stats here in a minute to back up what I'm talking about. So those are your starters, okay? Now, you come off the bench, the first guy should be off the bench is Isaiah Joe. That's your best three-point shooter. But your first guy off the bench is Lindy Waters, G League player. Really? Jang, G League. Neither one of those are ready, and you're putting them in a situation in games where they should not be coming off they shouldn't be playing at all. Jang, maybe. But to me, I'm going to play Robinson Earl before I play him, and he's not even playing well, but I'm going to play somebody who has experience versus a rookie, somebody who's not ready for this environment. He's not ready. then the water's not ready. You can't play them there. They don't shouldn't be on the court. Then the next guy off the bench should be Sarge in for J Dub, J Will. That should be your next guy. And depending on how he plays, depending on how many minutes. And then, or Aaron Wiggins, depending on what you're going to do now. I would prefer Sarge come off and then Aaron Wiggins, but depending on who's playing, since we're playing the Clippers tonight, Sarge doesn't really have a spot for him, really, kind of. So you want Aaron Wiggins to come off the bench with Isaiah Joe to match up with what they're doing. Now, well, I'm going to bring up this stat right here. When you look at the Thunder, okay, and this is why I'm saying what I'm saying. This is when you look up the Thunder and what they're doing as far as their stats on the season. Field goal percentage, we have dropped to 16th. Points, we're about the same as far as scoring and as far as defense. We're about the same. But field goal percentage has gone up. Excuse me, has gone down. And we've gotten better. Why? Because of J Dub. Why is that? Because of J Dub. He's getting all, J Will. It's because he's getting all the charges. We don't have an inside presence. We don't have anybody that can block shots. So what does that allow him to do? He comes in and he's not going to block a shot, but he will be able to take a charge, which kind of makes teams think twice about coming to the basket because you have him in there. And he's leading the league, and this was an interesting stat, is that he led the league, the NCAA last year, in charges took. He's leading the NBA this year in charges taken. How about that? And then he barely plays. It's just, I just don't know what the hell you're talking about. The things that we need to improve on is field goal percentage and giving up points. And how do you do that? By taking away possessions from the defense. So when you look at what I've just showed you, what that basically tells you is who you should be playing and who you don't. Because you look at where the ranks are. You got to get stops. So how do you get stops? You get stops by having the defense be able to either block shots, intimidate you into taking bad shots, which is what Sarr is for. We have Dario Sarr in there. And that's what he would be for, is to block shots. If we have a 7-footer in there, then you'd have to have him in there simply because size-wise, J-Dub, he's strength-wise, yes. But size-wise, he can't handle somebody that's 7 foot tall. He's just 7'1", 7'2", so you'd have to have Sarr in there for that. But the other guys, it's like, why are they in there? Why are they playing? It makes zero sense to me. 0 cents why they'd be in there. You've got to cut your roster down to your starting 5. Isaiah Joe and Wiggins is your 7. Sarge is going to be your 8. And then depending on what matchups are, whether you play Sarr every now and then, depending if we got to go against a big guy. But for the most part, you can't be playing those other guys. You can't be playing 10, 12 deep right now because this is playoff basketball. You can't be, no team, I don't care who it is playing 12 people, but the Thunder. And once again, I'm going to say this, just one of 3 reasons. One, the Thunder are telling him to just play players so that we can lose without giving the impression of losing. 2, where he's knowing that he's coming back next year no matter what, so he can play whoever the hell he wants. Or 3, he's over skis. And I don't believe Sam Presti and the Thunder organization has said, hey, we want to lose. Because look at the crowds. If we start winning, what's the crowds doing? Crowds are picking up. More and more people are coming. There's no way that you don't notice that. As a fan, as an owner, as management. There's no way you don't understand that, see that. No way. So you see that. So how does that mean? Your coach has to make a difference. Like the other night, after the game against Phoenix, some people were telling I went to Cats after the show and went by there. And some people told me, hey, man, we understand why you weren't at the game. I couldn't go because I had one of the guys who replaces me at the gym. He has family issues with his dad. So, by the way, shout out goes to Tandy and Tonda Foreman and their family. Prayers goes out to them about their dad. And they were like, yeah, man, we saw where, the 2 seats were open and then the coaches shifted 2 players into that spot, SJ and him, and he looked over there and looked twice like, no, don't push him down. Don't put him in yet. And they both, after the deal, they pushed them both in and said, go up there. So now your assistants are going, dude, you can't play what you're playing. People are getting it. How does he not get it? All he wants to do is stand there with his fingers crossed, at the main deal up the whole game, staring around, acting like he's doing something. Oh, look at me, an NBA coach. Dude, sit your ass down. Steve Kerr ain't standing up. He stands up to talk about what he's talking about. He sits back down. Popovich stands up to do what he got to do, and he sits back down. When you got all the good coaches, you see them, they're not standing up the whole game. Why? They don't need to. I stand up to make a point, I sit back down and watch the game. But he stands up the whole time, pointing, act like he's doing something. No, it ain't about you. It's about the team. That's why I call him Mr. G League. Dude, play the players, your 8 players, 7 top 7, then your 8, maybe 9, depending on the situation. Period. But Robinson Earl, I love Robinson Earl, but he is not the same player he was. He's slow. He can't hit his threes. He can't move. He's just not there. Love him though, but he ain't there, so can't play you because we're trying to win. We're trying to get into the playoffs, and I'm gonna show you. This is what happened after one game, one night. Okay, the Thunder. Remember yesterday when we did the bracket, the Thunder was sitting where Minnesota is. Now we are sitting up there having to play Utah. Now we would play at home. Okay. Then you got to turn around and play Dallas or Minnesota on the road. Versus yesterday, we would have had to play Golden State on the road. And then the winner of the Lakers and Minnesota. I mean, think about it. That's one game. You understand what I'm telling you about how these games matter? Now, the Thunder would have got a home game either way. Well, not either way, because if we'd have beat Golden State at Golden State, we would have automatically went into the 7th seed to play, or excuse me, the 7th seed to play against Memphis. But if we won, or if we lost, then we would have had to play the winner of that at home, got a home playoff game, and then go to Denver, which still guarantees us 2 more home games. So either way, you're sitting there guaranteed 2 more home games, but you got to win. You only had to win 1 game. This scenario, you got to win 2 games. Okay, you got to win 2 games in this scenario. You have to beat Utah at home, and then you got to go to either Dallas or Minnesota and beat them in order to get in the playoffs. That's how the play-in works. So you can see how important these 11 games are. Now, when you look at the West standings, here are the West standings. On the left is yesterday. This on the right is today. So yesterday the Thunder were 8th. Today the Thunder are 9th. And you can see that Utah is right there. So if we lose tonight, the Thunder could drop all the way down to 10th or maybe even 11th because it depends on who's playing. I mean, that's yesterday and today. So you can see how important it is. And now the Thunder schedule over the next few games is this. Now remember, when I put this schedule out, it was right before we played Brooklyn. And I said the first step in our schedule is you had to beat Brooklyn. We probably would lose the Raptors, but if we beat them, it'd be a great victory. But I did not expect us to beat the Raptors. And then beat the Suns at home, but it's a must. And we got that done. So the first leg of this is great. Now here comes the second part. The second part is at the Clippers tonight, at the Clippers on Thursday, at the Lakers on Friday. Now, if SGA does not play back-to-backs, that means that SGA has to skip Thursday, which means we have to win tonight. Because if you play SGA on Thursday, that means he's not going to be able to play against the Lakers. And the Lakers are hot on our heels. The Clippers are up above us. So it really doesn't, or below us, I'm sorry. So we don't have to worry about that, or above us, I should say. They're above us. So we don't really have to, I mean, it'd be nice to beat them because it's about positioning. But if you're going to win a game, it would be tonight, and it's so huge. Then you turn around and you play again Thursday. So SGA can't play, and that's here you go, you can have this game, Clippers. Basically is what that would be. Now, there's a possibility of us winning, but if you're not playing SGA back-to-back, you got to let that go in order to play for the game against the Lakers. Then you turn around and go to Portland. So these next 4 games, you need to go a minimum of 2-2. The ideal is 3-1. If you go 3-1, your positioning to be in 7th place probably solidifies, and then you have a home game, and you could possibly win that, and then you automatically go right into the 7th seed against Memphis or the Kings, depending on who is there right now. And those two are bouncing back and forth. So here's step 2 of that process. Step 1, we went 2-1, just like I thought we needed to do. Now, step 2 is these next 4 you got, which are important this next week. This week is very important. And if we can go 2-2 minimum, 3-1, which is what I would need one of us to do, then all of a sudden we move up and we're in position. But as it stands now, the road to get a home playoff game is sitting okay, but you got to win. So if we win, go 3-1 out of these next 4 games, that means that we're 5-2 over our last 7. 5-2 over the last 7, and we're 7-3 in our last 10 games. Okay, so we're starting to peak, but it all depends on who this guy plays, who he has in the game. Because if he makes the right lineups, then he doesn't put the team behind the 8 ball, and then you got to put the guys who need to get you there back into it to get you back into the game. But there's a reason why Vegas has it at +7. We should not be +7. Okay, we shouldn't be. But because they're looking at who he plays, they're like, okay, the Clippers have won 5 out of the last 6. They're on a little roll. Thunder going to come in. He's going to be playing his 9, 10, 11, his 10th, 11th, 12th players off the bench. Thunder in trouble. He has got to understand this is playoff basketball. This is not. He's acting like this is. See, this is the season. So we played. No, that was the season's over. This playoff basketball. And my second thing was, could SGA adjust to playoff basketball? Which of course we know that James Harden never could. Still hasn't adjusted to playoff basketball. Understanding that they're not going to get calls. And SGA is learning. I saw at the beginning of the Phoenix game that he was able to play through the hits. And he was looking for some calls, didn't get them. Remember what happened in Toronto. He sat there crying about a call, throwing his hands up and down. Toronto pass, layup. And he looked around like, whoa, he hadn't done that since. Okay, learned his lesson quick. Smart basketball player. That's what smart players do. Now we need a smart coach who can go with our players, because as it stands right now, he is costing us 6 to 8 points a game. And it's because you playing lineups that we don't gain anything. When you come off the bench, you got to have players who are going to add. If you're behind, you want them to cut the lead. If you're ahead, you want them to increase the lead. You don't want to put players in there where the status quo stays the same or you go down. That's not what you want. And if you continue to play the lineup that he's playing, that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, in scores yesterday, NBA scores yesterday, the Pacers beat the Hornets, which doesn't affect us. The Bulls beat the Sixers in OT, which was a huge loss for the Sixers because they're chasing the Bucks right now, and the Celtics are falling slowly but surely. The Wolves beat the Knicks, and of course Julius Randle had 57 last night. He had 57 last night, and they got beat. And if you score 57, you're supposed to win. Your team is supposed to win the game. The Warriors, of course, stopped their 11-game losing streak, which is unbelievable, thinking they lost 11 games in a row on the road. It's amazing. But, of course, they beat the Rockets, and the Rockets are building a culture of, hey, let's lose. Let's tank last year. Let's tank next year. Let's keep tanking. They're building a culture of losing, and the Thunder are trying to build a culture of winning. And the Mavs, of course, and the Grizzlies, what a great game that was. And it was kind of interesting that Kyrie gave Desmond Bain his jersey, but did not take Desmond Bain's jersey. Wow, what a slap in the face. Kyrie, you got to take it anyway. Even if you're never going to use it, just take the man's jersey. Don't disrespect him like that. Take the man's jersey and then, just throw it in wherever in a box somewhere if you're never going to use it again. I mean, come on, dude. And then, of course, the Kings lost to the Jazz 128-120, which was a huge blow for us because we need the Jazz to lose. And the Kings and Grizzlies, of course, that was a huge loss for the Kings because now the Grizzlies move ahead of them into second place. And then the Mavs, of course, are drawing back closer and closer to us, but the Jazz are coming out, which is not good for us. We need the Jazz to lose. We need the Mavs to lose. We need the Warriors to lose. We need the Wolves to lose. So that being said, games today, you got the Wizards and Magic, which we don't care anything about. You got the Cavs and the Nets, which we don't care anything about. Pistons and Hawks, we don't care anything about. And the Spurs and Pelicans, it matters because we need the Spurs to beat the Pelicans, which I don't know if that's going to happen because the Spurs are in the Wembanyama stakes. And then the Celtics at the Kings really doesn't affect us that much because if the Kings lose, okay, that's between them and Memphis, not necessarily between them and the Grizzlies. Doesn't have anything really to do with us. And the Thunder and the Clippers, like I said, a huge, huge, huge game for the Thunder. It's something that the Thunder got to win. We've got to win this game. It's a huge, huge deal for the Thunder. And of course, in NBA news, Dylan Brooks, which is going to be for the Grizzlies, is going to be suspended. Probably was already suspended. Well, we'll know if it will be upheld tomorrow when they play at the Rockets, which I don't think should matter that much. But he's receiving his 16th tech. Remember, every 2 technicals after that, he's suspended for a game. So now he's got to really watch it because Memphis is in the hunt. So that's going to be really crucial on what he does. I don't know if he's capable of. I don't know if he's capable of actually being able to hold back and not get technicals. I'm not sure if he can really do that, but we shall see if he's going to be able. Now, this is crazy. He's just coming back. Remember, he's on a 8-game suspension. He's just coming back. And the crazy thing about is this. He gets $37 million on the line if he makes first team this year. Isn't that crazy? Now, here's the problem. This is who he's going against. He's going against Luka. He's going against Steph. He's going against Kyrie. He's going against Damian Lillard. He's going against SGA. He's going against Trey. It's him, then Jamal Murray, Darius Garland, and DeAndre Fox. And then, of course, he's done the bonehead stuff, the moves that he's made. Now, the question is, who do you put him in front of? To me, Luka's for sure going to be one of them. Steph Curry is beloved, so it's going to be tough to supplant him. Kyrie is right there as well. Damian Lillard, of course, SGA has just been playing out of his mind, which has been fantastic for the Thunder, which is the reason why we are, what is that? We were at 23 and a half, and we're at 35, so we're 11 and a half games ahead of what we were predicted to win. 11 and a half, and it has everything to do with SGA and what he's doing. And then the growth of Josh Giddey and the growth of J-Dub, because what an unexpected surprise that was. Kudos to Sam Presti and that pick, because none of us saw that coming. So kudos to Sam Presti and the scouting staff in picking up J-Dub, because nobody saw him coming and doing what he's doing. Fantastic. So now what does that say for the Thunder? That means the Thunder has a 3-headed monster now with those 3. Josh is coming on and slowly starting to understand what it is to be an alpha. But at the end of games, you can see he lost the ball yesterday because when SJ passed to him, he froze like, oh, what do I do now? You take it to the basket. That dude, Wainwright, can't guard you one-on-one. Take him, Josh. But that's, again, the maturation process, the growth process that we need from Josh in order to take it up to the next level, okay? So with this is that the Thunder are sitting there really, really pretty. Really, really pretty for next year. And I'm excited about what the Thunder have to offer. So the question is, who is Ja going to overtake? Especially he's got, 10 games left to overtake one of those guys to get his $37 million. Think about the idiot, what he done. $37 million he's pissing away because he wants to be hood with his $30,000 worth of jewelry in his mouth. I don't understand these guys today. I'm going to be me. Well, you have a limited amount of time to make the maximum amount of money you can make. Get it. And then one thing about Michael Jordan, he always put the right people around him to make sure he was successful. And by the way, I can't wait to go see Air, so I'm excited about seeing that. That being said, let's take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Collaborative Logic. We appreciate them for keeping us up and running. I still got to take my stuff in there so they can fix my stream deck so we can tie that in. SRB, if you have any engineering, surveying, or planning, they are the peeps that you need to holler at. For that, they love to be behind the scenes. Oak Grove Trucking, my guy Jose Fierro. I want to thank Greg and Max Nafy for always, always, always having my back. And of course, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. And of course, they are our sponsors for minority, black, and women-owned businesses to us to go out and do remote live streams. And we appreciate them that, or we would not be here today at Georgia's Happy Hog. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go into the main bank, 401M downtown Yukon, or you can go to the YB East, which is just about 2 miles east of the main bank right there off of 66th and the Parkway. YB Mustang, of course, Mustang being a growing city it is, you can go right there. I think it was 218 Mustang Road there in Mustang. YB Parkway, which is actually off I-40 and Garth Brooks Boulevard. You can't miss it. It's right there in front of the Integris Hospital. I believe it's Integris. And then, of course, the bank that I always go to is YNB People's right there on 63rd between MacArthur and Rockwell. And, of course, today we are at Georgia's Happy Hog, 712 Culbertson Drive. And it's just east of Lincoln, south of, I'll say my boy Ben Dimmon's on, just south of the state capitol, north of the OU Medical Center right here on Culbertson Drive, just right off of Lincoln. One of my favorite places. It's delicious and they're packed as usual. So, and if you have you been here, you definitely need to come in and show up. Everybody that I've talked to about it that's come in and had never heard of it just loves it. And that's just definitely one of my favorite places. What's going on, High Stick Harry, Ben Dillman? How you doing, man?
What's going on, brother? How we been?
Good, man. How was your trip?
Man, it was good. I had a lot of fun. Ate some good food, had a bunch of drinks. Took care of business. It was a good time.
Watch your Bruins win.
You what?
Watch your Bruins win.
Yeah, I watched them. I wish they were home. I wish they were at home. I would have went to a game, but they were all out of town. But yeah, I watched them win a couple times. Another couple shutouts. Not too bad.
Dude. How the hell do you go to a game or you set up your thing there and they're not playing? What was that? That's bad timing, bro.
St. Patrick's Day is the best time, man. I wouldn't have time. Right. I wouldn't have made it to the game.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about it. It was St. Patrick's Day, wasn't it?
I wouldn't have made it to the game. Yeah.
I was a good boy on St. Patrick's Day this year, bro.
There you go. Yeah, I went to bed early. Early start.
Did you go to bed early or did you have an early start? You had to go to bed.
A little bit of both. You know how it goes.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, well, there's been a lot of. How's your bracket? My bracket, our brackets. We're ranked 8th right now in our bracket, by the way.
Right now, we are?
Yeah. The one me, you, and Drew did, we're ranked 8th out of 42.
That's not bad at all.
No, not bad at all.
In mine, I'm 5 out of 23 right now.
Dude, that's pretty good. My thing is this: why didn't I should have known to pick Princeton? They beat us. They upset us. I should have picked them, but I never picked them because they did beat us. And then who the hell saw FAU and FDU? Who the hell saw that?
Man, that was some good stuff. I really do. I mean, that's what March is all about. It's the best. I really do like it. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I like betting almost every game that pops on just because I get bored and I'm just a little bit of a degenerate. So I'll jump in there and do that. But so it's great. I was sitting at different bars out there and they have sports books out there. So it was nice to really get in there and do a couple. But it was fun. I mean, I didn't see some of these things happening, but that's why that's why they lace them up.
Yeah, well, it's so funny is that I was saying that tonight I've got my OSU shirt, my OSU stuff on with my Thunder hat because, I mean, you got the OSU game at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna go up to Stilly for that, and then you've got the Thunder tonight going against the Clippers. So I had to support both the teams, and so anyway, I talked about OSU how big a game this is tonight because they go to the Final Four in the NIT, which is a huge thing, I think, for an OSU program anyway.
I think that's great. I mean, I know it's obviously not, the tournament, but it's still a tournament. It's still like nationally televised. It's still big for recruiting and for different things like that. I think it's massive.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to Madison Square Garden. They're going to – it's normally held at MSG, but they're doing it in New Orleans this year. I mean in Vegas, so which is still a good trip. Vegas is always a good trip. Yep. It's not like it's not
100%.
It's not a good trip. You know what I mean?
I just feel bad for the under 21-year-olds.
Yeah. Now, speaking of NCAA, we were talking about the brackets, and I mean it's you look at the bracket, Ben. It's kind of tight there, isn't it? Well, I put in the wrong bracket there.
It honestly is. I got one of the guys in my bracket or whatever that I'm doing. He's in first. The only team, so he has all of the sweets. He has 15 of the 16 Sweet 16 correct. The only team he has out is Duke. He had them beat Tennessee.
Yeah, see, I had Houston. We had Houston.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have had. I'd have put Arkansas. Remember we were discussing that, me, you, and Ben, Drew, where the Bill Self, because if Bill Self coaches, Kansas wins that game. If Bill Self wasn't going to coach, then I would not have put Kansas If I'd have known, I'd have picked Arkansas over there because that was a tough matchup for us to decide on.
100%.
Yeah, but I would have taken Arkansas if I'd known that Bill was not going to coach before we did the bracket. So missed that, but we did have Houston. Alabama still in there, so I'm golden. Drew is done because he had Arizona.
Yeah, he had yeah.
And you had, who did you have?
I got Alabama beating UCLA.
Yeah, I had
my one right here.
I had Alabama beating Houston. Is the one I had. Yep. So yeah.
You guys convinced me into the UCLA pick.
Yep. Which is a good thing for you, right?
Drew did. Yep, worked out for me. Yeah. Worked out all right.
You're not complaining about it at all. Now, have you watched any women's yet?
I watched a little bit here and there. Just it was a little too loud and stuff at some of the places I was at, so it was kind of hard for me to watch like some of the last little bit. I saw like the deal with the Texas where they had that mix up at the end of the game.
Yeah, that was crazy.
With some of the, I saw that, and then there was a couple other things, but I watched a little bit of it. But it was kind of hard for me to keep concentration and all that when I was bouncing around the city. I walked like 15 miles a couple days ago. It was nuts. So
what the hell? What was you doing that for?
We went from the south end just all the way. We walked all the way around, went across a couple of the bridges, went over to the north end, went to Cambridge by MIT, went to. So we're just walking. Now we are feeling like crap. My knee's swollen like a balloon. Yeah. Kylie said her ankle hurt.
Oh, I can imagine. So did you watch the OU game last night?
Yeah, I got to.
OU women's. I'm talking about OU women's.
Yeah, the women's. I didn't get to see much of the game, but I got to see the highlights of one of the fans or whatever, the 8-year-old girl that was screaming and yelling on the sidelines there. She was having a blast. It looked like I saw that all over Barstool this morning. And then, I got to see a little bit of it here and there, but I didn't get to pay attention too much because I just flew back into town, so I was out.
Yeah, well, I knew it was going to be a game. I watched that last night, and I was like, what a game.
I got it recorded. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah. Oh, well, then I won't tell you what happened then.
No, go ahead. Tell me. I mean, you got to go on. Carry on.
OU women lost.
Did they?
Yeah,
okay.
They got beat. But they lost 83-72. And it's just UCLA dude. They're tough, man. But a 4-5 matchup. But UCLA did what they needed to do. And then, OU, they needed to overcome. They had, the first half, they just weren't. You could tell they were just, I don't know what it was, but they were out of it. And then
came out flat.
Yeah, and then they only scored 28 points in the first half. That's not like OU women. They're better than that.
No, definitely not.
They dug themselves a hole. They came back, but at the same time, they just could not catch up and could not get it done simply because they dug themselves too big of a hole to bounce back out of, which is unfortunate, but it does happen. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, 100%.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes just the rim's a little bit smaller. Some nights, just some of the, just every once in a while, there's, it's just all about the bounces too. Here and there, foul here and there, different call here and there. It's just a little bit of everything. It's all about the bounces and not, game's 90% mental, 10% physical.
Yes, it is. So. Yes, it is. Well, I might need you on Friday morning, by the way, to play in a golf tournament. So we may be playing. We may be playing Lincoln on Friday morning. But anyway, I just love this time of basketball. But I think with all the upsets being, it really has taken me. I just haven't really watched NCAA. It's like I don't know. Normally I'm very excited, but this year for whatever reason, I've been paying more attention. I guess it's because I'm so invested in the Thunder that I haven't really. Yeah,
it's got to be the Thunder investment right now.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, OSU we got screwed, but it was just next year we should be tons better, so I'll probably be more engaged. But this year, for whatever reason, I just didn't care. I don't know what it was about this.
Not as much going on, and there wasn't even no you really, I think with Texas up and down season, there really wasn't much Big 12. There was a bunch of Big 12 teams, but I'm saying they're like not like a ton of hype really. Like they're all kind of.
Yep, that's kind of.
None of them are really favored.
I just wasn't excited about it. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, and with Kansas losing or winning, last year, it's so hard to do back to back. I think it was just kind of maybe one of those years, just maybe for our region, might be a little bit slower.
Yep, agreed. And then of course, and I was waiting for our guy Drew Hinthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com, but I guess he's not coming on. So. Anyway, in his picks today, he's got Wisconsin +3. And do you like that pick or do you not like that?
I do. I got to watch Wisconsin a couple days ago, and they really impressed me a little bit. So I'm going to ride with them on this one because I rode with them on the last one. So I got to keep that horse going.
And of course, if they win, they will play the winner of us in North Texas.
Yep.
In the first round of the Final Four of the Final Four. So that would be interesting. And then of course the Cowboys. He's taking them tonight too. And
I'm homering with them.
Yeah, because we're at home. And I think Gallagher Iba will be rocking. And you know what's interesting is Josh Giddey after the game Sunday night, he was like, "I've never heard it that loud before." I go, "Bro, it wasn't even packed yet. Wait till it gets packed.
You don't even know.
Wait till it gets packed up at Paycom. Wait till it gets packed. Then you will really hear what it's like for them to be the loudest arena in the NBA. You'll understand." But
yeah, I got to go to some of those games in there early on. I really took them for granted going against, like when we were playing Kobe and all that back in the day. I got to go to some of those home games, sitting pretty close, and I got to go to some of those Memphis Grizzly games back in the day when we were playing against Zebo and all those guys. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, but
it was
loud.
Those
games were loud, dude. I mean, it was packed every game too, sold out. Everybody rocking.
Gives you a little goosebumps just thinking about it.
Oh yeah, man. Me too. And I think they're going to get back. But, that was part of my thing with the Thunder with our coach is, dude, you can't be playing 12. I understand this is regular season, but it's not. It's playoff. You have 11 games left. We're fighting for playoff lives. You can't be playing 12 people right now.
After All-Star, you gotta slow down a little bit.
Yes.
You got to rein in the horses. You got to put everybody in the right way. You got to, and everybody's got to start to find their own roles too.
Yeah, and Ben, we played 12 guys.
Yep,
12.
That's too many.
I was like, you can't play 12 guys. And Aaron Wiggins came in the fourth quarter. You waited till the fourth. He didn't play the whole game until the fourth quarter. Seriously? And then all of a sudden the Thunder go on a crazy run with him in the game. You can just see the energy. I'm like, okay, he's your best wing player, defender. And then we're playing against a team that shoots
threes. Be able to read the room.
And you don't play your best wing defender to the fourth quarter and then they make a run. I mean, really now? Really? Is that – and then Mark was telling me they were watching the game, and he said, yeah, man, he said the coaches were sliding. There were two benches open where he subs his next guys in. And he goes, the coaches moved him in. He turned around and took a double take like, no, we're not putting him in yet. And the coaches pushed him up and pushed him in anyway. The assistant coach did like, no, they're going in. We're trying to win this game.
Come on. Yeah,
we're trying to win.
Yeah. We need some traction here.
Yeah, we don't know what the hell you're looking at, but yeah, we're trying to win this game. And I think that everybody's getting to understand. I just think here's my take, Ben. I think there's one of three things that's going on. One, Sam Presti and the Thunder people have told him to, you need to play players, so we need to lose and get as better draft pick as we possibly can. Okay, high pick as we possibly can. So we need to lose without trying to lose, if that makes sense. Don't put us in positions to win.
I know exactly what
put us in positions where it's harder for us to win. Or B, hey, you're coming back next year no matter what, so you don't worry about it, so do whatever you want. B.
Yep.
Or C, he's over his skis. And I think
just no idea yet.
Yeah,
and it's too late to fire him.
Yeah, you can't do it. So my deal is, number one, the first one, I don't think Sam Presti them saying, hey, let's lose with all the crowd coming back and momentum, and they're gaining with ticket sales.
Yeah, I think they would have – if that would have happened, like I said, right around All-Star break. That would have happened. They would have done it then and there, and they would have been like, okay, let's push for a pick since we're just we're right on the brim. But
they were pushing for that in the beginning. And my understanding is the players said, no, we're trying to win. We're not trying to lose. And then the Thunder philosophy changed at that point. So they know the players are trying to win. They have that winning mentality. That. So that's why I've said number one of that deal is out unless they're telling him that, for the players to get mad at him, that gives them an excuse to get rid of him. I don't believe Sam Presti is doing that.
I don't think so either. I don't think he's like that. I feel like he honestly does a great job. I don't
think he's like that. I don't see that one. And the second one is, hey, you got your contract. Just go ahead and coach and do what you want to do. You're coming back next year. Don't worry about anything. Now that's a possibility.
Yeah, get these guys, and they could also be like, get these guys some minutes. We want these guys to get some. Like, we want to see what we got. I can see that. I understand all that.
But Ben, you know what you got by now. You're how many games into it? 70 games into it. If you don't know what the hell you got by now,
that's a good size. That's a good sample
71
size.
games. You should know what the hell you got. I know what the hell we got, and I've been watching too, and I'm not at practice, and I can see what the hell we got.
Yeah, exactly.
And the third thing is, I just don't think he understands. I think he's a G League coach, and that's why I call him Mr. G League. He's gone from 2 minutes too long to the minutes manager to Mr. G League. And the reason why I say that is because I think that he was good at what we originally hired him for. Build up these young players, which is what G League coaches do. Their
Yeah.
job is to get the G League players more ready to play for the NBA. That's their job. And
I think you got it right that he might just be a little over his head.
Yeah, that's what I think. Now he's got him there. Now he doesn't know how to now that they're there, what to do to get them to the next. I just don't think he knows how to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand that.
That's what I think. I think he's let me see playing. Instead of going, dude, we're about in the playoffs and you're playing 12 guys. No, you play 7, 8, and 9, and just depending on what's happening. But you don't play any more than that because you need continuity going into the playoffs.
And it's similar to college coaches going into professional sports. How sometimes just a little over their head. They just don't have the same resources and everything and the same train of thought.
They just don't get it. They just don't.
Yeah, sometimes you're not just there's also just guys that just aren't good leaders of men. A good leader of group or women. Like whatever sport it is. Yep. But like sometimes they're just not a good leader for
not for this position. He's done exactly what we needed him to do.
Yeah.
Now we need a coach that can take us to the next level. That's where I think we're at.
I think we need a personality.
Yep.
To be honest, we need somebody that can come in and get these young guys to believe and do it.
Tell them this is where you need to be. This is where you need to be. This is where you need to put them in the right spots.
Yep.
And of course now you got
put them in their roles and tell them where it's going to be.
You got the Nets +3 tonight, which he loves the Nets. We'll see how that is. The Kings.
Yeah.
The Celtics at the Kings. Did you leave me? You still there, Ben? Ben.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I thought I lost you. Okay, the Celtics at the Kings. He's taking over 239, and then the Thunder and the Clippers he's taking the over for 238.5. Now the Clippers are +7, Ben. I mean -7. Don't you think that's a lot, or do they just think this guy's not going to play the right players? What do you think that is?
I mean, Vegas usually has a good idea of what's going on from whatever from what I can tell. Because I don't win all my bets, so they usually know what the hell's going on. But I mean, they got a good call on it. But I mean, it's in LA. I mean, maybe that has 2 points, or a point maybe. I don't know.
But 7.
I don't see
7.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think we're only 2 games back from them.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. I think we're 36 and 36. If I'm not mistaken, and they're 38 and 34.
We're 35 and 36.
Do what?
We're 35 and 36.
35 and 36. Okay, yes. I was almost there.
Yeah.
And then so I mean, 7 the point. I mean, the home court would be the only thing. I think 7's a lot, but I think 5 isn't enough just because it's at home.
Well, put like this.
I mean, I do.
This is where we're at. We're 35 and 36. The Jazz are 35 and 36. The T-Wolves are 36 and 37. The Mavericks are 36 and 36. The Warriors are 30. Yeah, and the Warriors are 37 and 36. And the Clippers are 38 and 34. So we are 2 games out of 6th. I mean, that's how close it is. And that's what I'm saying.
And that's great. That's great for the league, man.
Yeah,
especially all these small markets.
Yep, because nobody expected us to be here. Nobody.
No, definitely. I think you're the only one that called it.
Yep, and we're 11.5 games above what we were supposed to win. We're supposed to win 23.5. We're at 35. 11.5 games above what we were projected to win, which I told about that was insane. But my thing is
definitely.
Yeah, my thing, this though being is with the Thunder is now, and that's what I was saying about coaching. Dude, you got to understand, we're in playoff mode. Like, it was so funny. Yesterday, Ben, in the play-in tournament bracket, okay, we were going to have a home game. We were going to have to go on the road to play Golden State, okay? And if we lost that game, then we had a home game against the winner of the Lakers and the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, from there, today, this is the play-in today. This is the bracket today, okay? The bracket today is we play Utah at home. Then we've got to play the loser of Dallas and Minnesota.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whereas before, you got to play one game on the road against Golden State. Okay, if you lose that, then you got the Lakers and Timberwolves at home, which gives – I promise you it'll be sold out for that game. I promise you it'll be 18,400 in that place if we had a home playoff game. Don't you think?
We'll be right there. I mean, we've been hungry for that for a while as a city.
So now you've got to win 2 games to get in. Whereas before, you'd only
Mhm.
have to win one game to get
Yeah.
in. So your chances.
Our next 3 games scare me because it's. I mean, I know
Well, the
it's the
next four.
Clippers, but it's
Yeah,
back.
the
It's
next
all
four.
in LA, and then Thursday, Friday's a back to back. So like
SGA is not going to
Clippers,
play.
obviously. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what makes me nervous
Well, the way I look at it,
about
Ben,
that one.
is tonight you have to win because
Yeah,
Thursday you just tell SGA you can't play SGA because you got to play him against the Lakers on Friday. If he does not play back to backs, which they're saying he's not, so you've got to play SGA on Friday, which means Thursday's
I
a
think so
wash.
too.
So if you win tonight, then Thursday is irrelevant. You know what I mean? But if you lose today,
Yeah,
if you lose tonight, and then you turn around and lose Thursday, and then you lose against the Lakers all of a sudden, and then you got to go to
we're
Portland,
out.
you're 1-4.
Yeah, then you're out.
You're right. I said the least you have to go a minimum of 2-2 with the maximum of 3-1 in the next 4 games.
Yep.
And then we
Yep.
have
100% correct.
yeah, then we have 2 easy games. Then you have the Hornets and the Detroit Pistons back to back. And excuse me, I didn't mean to say that word, but if you can't
I already
win,
know what you're talking about.
those 2 games, those should be W's right there. So these next
Yep,
4,
and
like,
the Pacers.
yeah, well, that's at home though. I'm just saying these next 4
Yeah,
though, this is how I broke it down, Ben. We had 3 games when I put my schedule out. This is how I broke it down. This is how I broke the schedule down for the Thunder. This was coming into the week. I said, this is what the Thunder need to happen, okay, to make everything to go the way that I think that it should go for the Thunder for them to have a chance. Okay, this is how I broke it down. The first 3 games were at Brooklyn at home, which we had to win. I said. Then we went to
yeah,
Toronto, and I was like, if we win, that'd be great. If not, okay. And then Phoenix at home. So I said the first step of this process is
that was a good win.
you have to go 2-1. So we accomplished stage 1. Stage 2 is these next 4 games, which is Clippers on Tuesday, Clippers on Thursday, Lakers on Friday, and Portland on Sunday. So now these next 4, you have to go a minimum of 2-2. Minimum of 2-2. Okay,
Yeah, it's got to be.
minimum. That's the minimum you've got to go. So you've got to be all hands on deck, and that's my point with the coach, dude. You can't be playing 12 guys. This is all. I mean, we're trying to get into the playoffs here. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I mean,
if you go
yeah,
if you go 2-2, then of course, then you got the 2 wins, and then you've got the Pacers at home. Okay, and I think if we win and if we're in 7th, because Ben, I believe let's say if you go 2-2, all of a sudden you're sitting pretty good. You're probably still where we are, 8th, 9th, around there, depending on who everybody else plays. Then you win those other 2 games. Then you're possibly 7th, maybe 6th, depending on who's playing. Because we have the 6th easiest schedule right now. Okay, and
it's looking pretty
so
good.
then going into that home game against Indiana, we could be in 7th or 6th place right there. And if you think the place
That's what
Paycon won't be rocking, oh my goodness, it will be rocking for that game.
I agree 100%. I
So
think it'd be great.
so that's my. Then of course that would be my step 3. But my step 2 is this right now. You have to go a minimum of 2-2 over this week. 3-1
Yep.
would be fantastic, but you got to go minimum of 2-2. And if he's going to be playing all of these guys, there's no way, Ben, that's going to happen. No way.
Yeah, I mean,
because
like that's what I agree with you about. He has to play with all these bodies on here. I mean, I love when Dort can put up anywhere over 15 or 16 points.
Yes.
I feel like we're
good.
We have a great time when that's happening. Yeah, so if we have both of them rocking pretty good, I really do love that. But I do think, just like you said, I think Thunder's got to win it. They got to go 2-1 here off these first 3 games, and then we can go beat the Trailblazers, I think. But I mean, obviously there'll be a game, but right. I think we can really start turning some things around. So the back-to-back just makes me a little nervous. This would be a good time to watch.
Well, the whole thing with back-to-backs, if SJ doesn't play, which they said they're not playing him in back-to-backs, okay, then that means that he cannot play Thursday.
Yeah.
The chances
he needs to play against the Lakers.
Right. You're going to have a better chance of beating the Lakers than you are the Clippers with SGA.
And if say we beat the Clippers tonight, then Thursday, you can put in some of those guys that coach loves to put in.
Yeah, let them
take
whatever.
off, and you can put in all your G player guys.
Who knows
G League guys.
Yeah, who knows? Well, it doesn't really matter at that point.
Yeah.
And then on Friday, then you turn around and then you have the Lakers and you're back to your 8-man, 7-man, 8-man rotation. Then you go to Sunday, you're back to your 7-8 man rotation. Then you should have 2 games back to back. We should beat Charlotte and we should beat Detroit. So
Yeah.
then you're
Yep.
sitting, you're coming in Oklahoma City possibly in 6th or 7th place at that point. This place would
That'd
be
be
rocking.
awesome.
Oh, dude, it'd be rocking, man. It'd be so great. It'd be so great. Now, speaking of great, we had some pretty good hockey stuff going on this weekend, bro, or last night. The Panthers.
Yep, there's a ton of good stuff.
Now, tonight we got a full slate, but last night you had the Panthers beating the Red Wings 5-2.
Yep, it was a big win for the Panthers. They jumped in the driver's seat actually for the wild card. They were behind the Islanders and the Pens, and now they just jumped ahead of the Pens. So it was actually a great game for them. I had a friend at a couple games, 2 different games last night. So I had a friend at that one. He said the place was Detroit was just completely quiet the entire game.
Really?
So, but yeah, he's like, because they went down early and then they said they were jerseys thrown. It was all kinds of crap.
So, in other words, you're saying it's a bad loss for Detroit, is what you're saying?
Yeah. They were just upset. They're done with it.
Yeah. The Senators beat the Penguins 2-1.
Yep, like the Pens lost last night, so that put the Panthers in front of them. So now they're in the wild card. Crosby goal, but that wasn't about it. I mean, that was pretty much about it for the Pens.
Yeah. Now next week I'm gonna put up I'm gonna have the standings up where everything is at, and probably have a playoff bracket up. Or they don't do the play-in, do they? They just do the straight up bracket.
Nope. They just do a straight bracket. There will be 2 wild cards on each conference, and there will be 3 teams from each division. So the wild card, it could come out of the same division or not. You know what I mean? Kind of just depends.
Yeah. Well, we'll put up the standings for next week.
Yep.
Since it's getting at that time of year, so people won't.
We're
talking.
They got about 12 games left. Yeah, they got about 12 games left. So here in the next, a lot of these teams are going to play back to backs 2 or 3 times in the next 2 weeks. So we're about 2 or 3 weeks away from playoffs right here.
Yeah, so we'll put up the standings up so everybody will be able to see. So when you're talking about how important somebody loses, wins, what that actually means as far as bracket.
It is tight right now. Yeah, it is very tight.
And then, of course, the Avalanche over the Blackhawks 5-0.
Yeah, that was about it. Avalanche getting healthy.
Point night, basically. Is that what that was?
Point night out there. Yep, point night.
Yep, and then, 5-4, the Sharks losing to the Oilers in OT.
Yep, this is the 7th loss in a row there for the Sharks. They traded. They were sellers at the trade deadline, but McJesus and Draisaitl both with 2 assists. That puts McJesus at 136, and then you got Leon Draisaitl at 106 for points this year. So they're on fire still.
He's trying to get to 150. Is that what you said for McDavid?
I think, Connor McDavid. Yeah, he'll break a couple barriers if he gets to 150. Okay. So and these guys, they don't even play on the same line anymore. They just do power play. So it's pretty impressive having 2 guys over 100 points, and they're still making a push to try and get first in that division. So we should see. But it's a great year for McDavid. If you can ever watch the Oilers on TV, I'll try and tell you and remind you if it's coming on TNT or ESPN so people can watch it, but it's fantastic. He's great.
We need to do that. We need to make our hockey deal. We'll make it a lot better when we do
TV
games.
When the playoffs come around, we'll do something and we'll watch a game together, have a couple beers.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Then, of course, the last game was the Kings 8-2 over the Flames.
Yep, I saw actually a bunch of my buddy Caleb Myers works for the Thunder. He actually went to the game last night. I guess they either got him tickets or he maybe slid one in, but he was like, "Yeah, they scored 6 goals on my end, here in this one net, in 2 periods." He's having a great time, but he's one of their kind of like trainers and stuff. He's like their assistant trainer kind of stuff. So towel guy. Yeah, he hangs out over there.
He's the guy that comes in the Cats all the time, right?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
So he was out there, but anytime you get 10 goals, that reminds me of Big 12 football. So. That's some good stuff.
Big 12 football, that's hilarious. Yeah, because it does get a little out of control, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gets a little wild. Here we go.
Now, dude,
54 to 48.
We got crazy games today, dude. Tonight you got the Jackets against the Capitals.
Yep, I do like the Caps tonight, but I know that they're one of the other teams. They were sellers at the trade deadline, so but they're trying to stay in the running here. If they can squeeze together 4 or 5 wins in 6 or 7 games, they still got a shot at playoffs. But I don't know. But I'm always looking forward to an Obi goal. I want to break that record.
Well, he's close to it, isn't he? I mean, what is he now?
He's 80 now away, so he'll need another I think he can probably pop in another 5 or 6 this year, and then I think he'll probably play another 2 or 3 years, and he should get it.
Okay, then we have the
But with them selling all their talent, I don't know. It makes it worse and worse.
Yeah,
You're like, ooh.
Then you've got, of course, the Lightning at the Canadiens.
Yep, Canadians are kind of they're trying to they're doing kind of like what you were talking about with the Thunder and
Tanking.
coaching
Oh,
a little bit of like trying to maybe trying to coach to lose a little bit maybe so I do like the Bolts tonight here.
Then, of course, you've got the Panthers and the Flyers.
Yep, Panthers 4 in a row, so they're on a back-to-back, but that's their fourth one. They only got about 12 games left, so they need to keep pushing here, but they're right in that playoff spot. We'll talk about that more next week.
Yep, Senators and your boys.
Yeah, Bruins are on three in a row here, but they are awful against the Sens, so I actually did bet the Senators tonight at plus 246 on the money line.
Is that their kryptonite?
Yep, I think they're 0-3 the last 3 games, and they get blown out every time. So I just took them just to sprinkle because it.
Do they just overlook them? I guess they just saying, "Oh, y'all suck and we don't care."
Oh, I don't know what it is. I have zero. So the Bruins, whenever they get with it's a big physical team. Sometimes they get caught up in playing the physical game instead of playing the actual game. So they'll start going out of their way to figure out different ways to get at the other team and try to get on their skin, and sometimes it backfires. So I think like that this team that they play against, like the captain for the Sens, Brady Tkachuk, he's a freaking monster. He goes out, he's got 9 teeth in his face, and he goes out there and he challenges anybody, and he scores goals and does whatever, gets on everybody's skin. I think sometimes we try to just take it to him because we got a bunch of big personalities.
Right.
So I think that the way that we play against them just doesn't match our skill set very well because we end up taking, like in basketball, back taking techs and doing different things, doing Draymond stuff, doing things like that. Like we're like, all right, like you just get chippy,
playing bonehead. Then
power play goal.
Of course, the Canes at the Rangers.
Yeah, the Rangers are finally starting to figure some things out. They won 7-0 the other night, so they're starting to get there a little bit with that big roster change that they had. But this one should be really tight. Both these teams have 4 wins in a row. I think the Rangers have 4 wins in a row here. Canes are a tough team. This one should be a nice physical battle. Probably one of the games of the night.
Yep. Then you have the Predators at the Sabres.
Yep. Both have dropped 3 in a row, so one team's going to finally win. So we'll see.
Then you have the Wild at the Devils.
Yeah, this is probably either this one or that Hurricane Rangers game will be the game of the night. Wild are 8-0-2 in the last 10. Devils are a solid team. I'll be watching this one. I'll be watching both of those on dual TVs.
Yep, and then of course the Leafs at the Islanders.
Yep, the Pens and the Panthers both looking for some help here from the Leafs tonight. If the Leafs can just beat the Islanders, it'll keep that wild card race real tight.
Yep. Then you got the Yotes at the Jets.
Yep, every bone in my body is telling me to stay away from this game because the Yotes will burn me.
Dude,
so
leave the Yotes alone, man. Don't even think about it. Leave it alone.
I'm not even trying about it.
Leave it alone. Where you? I don't know. You and Drew, y'all, I don't know. They kill y'all every time, but just leave them alone.
Damn Yotes every time.
Leave them alone.
Every stat in the book tells you not to not take them, and they just.
Dude, you might as well buy shots for a bunch of women that you don't know that you know are never gonna go give you a phone number. That's just throwing money.
Exactly.
Red Wings and Drew's Blues.
I do like Drew's Blues tonight. They got 2 wins in a row, so hopefully they can take it to the Wings. The Wings are not trying to win, I don't think, right now. So they got a young team, and they're just going to keep getting younger, it looks like.
Yes, and then I have an issue because the Kraken are in Dallas against my Stars tonight.
Yeah, but you got Otter and net there for the Stars. They're looking good. They need to keep first place, and it should be rocking at American Airlines tonight.
Yeah.
They've been selling out almost every game.
Yeah, the AAC, man, I just love it because originally the Ford Center, which is now Paycom, was supposed to be mirrored after what they did at the AAC, but of course at that time.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that.
It was supposed to be mirrored after them, but a smaller version, because at the time we built it to get an NBA team, but at the time remember we had the Bison or whatever the hockey team was. So
we had the Blazers, yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't the Blazers. It was after that. It was
after that. We had the Oil Kings. The Barons.
The Barons. We had the Barons.
Yep.
So they built it more for that. Then all of a sudden, Hurricane comes in. We get the Hornets to come in. and it just sells out, goes crazy. So the NBA goes, okay, we do have a viable team, a viable city for NBA, and they had to redo the facility for the Thunder
Yeah.
to come in because it was originally supposed to be AAC, but it clearly built it for hockey. So they had to redo everything.
Yeah, because didn't they have it for was it arena football too?
Well, they
Or
didn't
was
have,
that
I
the
don't know,
Myriad across the
that's a
street?
Myriad across the street. But yeah, they had built it, but they built it for hockey because nobody thought we'd get an
Yeah,
NBA team.
you can tell. Yeah, you can
And
tell it's built for that.
it was built, and so they had to redo it. That's why it's so important for us to get a new facility so that it can actually be built for basketball now that we have a team.
Yeah,
But I
definitely.
always thought that was
Yeah, I agree with that.
interesting tad bit. And then, of
I
course, you
didn't
have
know that.
the Flames at the Ducks.
Yep, the Flames need to win here. They're still trying to push for playoffs. I mean, they lost by 6 goals last night. That's the game that my buddy Caleb was at. Guy goes to Cats. He was like, "It was awesome." But yeah, I mean, so they need to win against the Ducks, the not so mighty Ducks.
And of course, the Golden Knights at the Canucks.
Yep. And this one, if you remember me telling you about Jonathan Quick, that American goaltender that got traded, like slap in the face to Columbus, and then he got traded to the Golden Knights. He's 4-1 since the trade. So if he's in there tonight, I do like the Kings. I mean, I do like the Golden Knights because he's that guy that got traded from them. They're like, didn't even tell him. They're like, okay, yeah, see ya.
See ya. Yeah, I'd be pissed off about that too. Now, of course, in NFL news, Lamar Jackson, remember him saying no to the guaranteed 133 3 years deal, talking about who needs an agent. Now has a guy calling on his behalf who's not registered with the NFL. And he's saying now he doesn't want a fully guaranteed contract.
Genius.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so I mean,
gosh, that's a
Ben.
joke.
I'm not sure. What is he saying, Ben? Do you know what he's saying? I don't know. Okay, so
I think he's thinking that he can get more of it incentive based. If that would be my only thing that maybe instead of him getting it fully guaranteed, maybe he can get more than that on an incentive basis or whatever. Yeah. That would be my only thing that I would think, because if it's not, because the only thing he made a whole huge deal about it being completely
that was when him and his mama, and then what they found out, the Ravens are like, look, it's not that big of a thing. It's not, nobody's doing that. So his mom and him took it personal. They took it personal. And
they're like, we'll give you $234 million, so you could be $1 million richer than him, or whatever. Yeah, we can just have, and half of it's going to be incentive based because you got to prove yourself. They're like, we're just not going to do that.
The whole thing is they were giving him 133 at the sign of his name, and that's what everybody doesn't realize. That was the most ever given to a person that signed in their name, 133. And then, like you and I said, he's going to get 45 automatically. Showing up so that's right there. That's 178 million right off the bat. Okay.
Yeah, and it's only a 3-year deal too.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's right off the bat. That first year
he has another contract after that. That's like a bridge contract for that much money.
It's like, that's insane. If you're healthy, you do what you're supposed to, come back next year. That's another 45. So you already got more money than him. I mean, I don't know what. Anyway, but they wanted a fully guaranteed because he's been hurt. But I'm like, look, I'm not giving you that, but I basically am. But you haven't played the last 10 games, and you've missed, what is he, played 1 game out of 12 in the month of December and January? Something like that? I mean, no, I'm not giving you that. But now he's hired a guy who's not registered because, what's his name? Laramie Tunsil.
Probably gets a better percentage.
Laramie Tunsil, the guy he hired, wasn't registered, had doing his contract, wasn't registered either. But he doesn't need to be.
Tunsil's the guy that had the gas mask at the draft, right?
Yeah, the one who's now the best tight end, best offensive guy, is crazy. So, but anyway, I'm just laughing at that, going, dude, what? But Lamar, bro, first of all, you and your mama realized, oh no, we thought more. Then you found out how the Ravens really
messed up here.
Yeah, now you found out how the Ravens really feel about you. So now you don't really want to play for them because your feelings is hurt. Well, when you have an agent, you don't know how they really feel about you. You know what I'm saying? You don't know you don't know. Now they're telling you and your mama exactly how they feel. That's stuff that a player normally doesn't ever hear. So now your butt hurt and you want to go somewhere else now. Well, okay. Well, anybody else still has to pay you a lot of money, and they got to give up 2 first-round draft picks. So everybody's realizing now when your quarterback makes a lot of money, that hurts you as far as salary cap is concerned.
Yeah, and the Ravens can just pay it themselves and say no.
So, yeah, the Ravens are already set up for it. But anybody else, let me
Yeah,
see,
they
I'm
can always
giving
say
up
these things.
picks. I'm giving up picks. Plus, I got to pay you all this money. So
Yeah, man,
that
that's
hurts you for the next year. So yeah, he's in a precarious situation. And to me, dude, you're getting more money, and that's what I'm saying. If he had an agent, they would have been able to explain that to her, or they would have known, like, look, dude,
yeah, that's what.
this is the
Yeah,
most
I
anybody's
think.
ever gotten is 104. You're getting
Yeah,
133 when you sign your name.
I think
Then
the agents also will help expedite the process. Obviously,
yes,
they have contacts in the NFL. They know these people. They work with them
well,
every
tell
day.
them,
They
dude,
have
it's not a
other
market for
agents,
you.
like
Yeah,
they have other not agents. They have other
players.
people that exactly. So it's like these people. You can help facilitate things a lot faster. Yeah, and I understand the percentages there, and maybe you find somebody that has a little bit less
You can
percentage, or I don't know,
negotiate
maybe
that
work something else
2%,
out, or
2%,
whatever.
1%, whatever.
There's
Who's not going to take
yeah, yeah.
1% of 200 million?
Yeah,
They're
exactly. It's
going to
just
take
kind of like
1% of
so.
200 million. You
I don't
know?
understand some of them because I wish that he would just use somebody because if he did, it'd probably all be done by
Yeah, Ben, I'm taking $2 million. If you want me to negotiate I'll take $2 million. Okay.
now.
Okay. I'm good.
Yeah.
You
All
know
right.
what I'm saying? I'm
Sounds
good.
good.
I'm good. I'll
I'll
take
let you
$2
know when I
million.
got my next
You
one. Yeah, I'll
know, I
call you
mean,
when I got my next one coming up.
it just amazes me how these people think. So, but anyway, brother, all right. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, man, I'm all good. I just think one other thing I just saw, and I know Cam Newton was working out today. Maybe he
Yeah.
gets a little backup position.
Yeah, that was in our NFL news is that, my problem with him is he made the comment, there's not 32 QBs better than me. Mofo is what he said. Really?
Yeah.
You're saying you're better than Patrick Mahomes. You're saying you're better than Judge Dustin Herbert. You're saying you're better than Josh Allen. You're saying you're better than
Maybe
Joe
Zach
Burrow.
Wilson.
You're saying that you're better than Jalen Hurts. You're really? Really? I just named
Yeah, he's
5
still
right
trying to
there.
say
There ain't and Trevor Lawrence. That's 6. Ain't no way in the world you better than none of them. No way. But again,
exactly.
once
Yeah.
again, Cam is his own worst enemy.
Lamar,
He's his own
Deshaun.
Deshaun. But Lamar, I mean,
Not better than Tom or Rogers.
no, I'm just saying he is his own worst enemy. And I
Yeah.
tell people all day long, when the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, when you're a knucklehead, as soon as they can get rid of you,
They will.
soon as your
They
stuff
can find any
declines a little
reason.
bit, they're done with you. You're out. And they're
Yep.
done with him. Like, dude, you all up trying to be all fashionable. And I forgot who I was talking to. And they're like, well, I think we're at the barbershop. And they're like, well, he can dress like he want to go. You're the head guy of an NFL franchise. You can't have a scarf on looking like a woman being the head of a football team. They
You
don't.
gotta
I
dress
said,
like a professional,
yeah.
act professional,
I'm saying
lead a
these are
team.
conservative white men who own these teams. Okay, these are billionaires. They're very, very, very conservative. The people who buy the suites, they're very, very conservative. They do not want to
Especially in
see.
Carolina.
Yeah, but they don't. Well, he was in where was he at then? He was in New England.
New England.
And I'm sorry, Robert Kraft don't want to see his quarterback in the scarf.
No, he just really doesn't.
Doesn't want to see his quarterback in the scarf. And those people in Boston, and you know how Boston, and you know what I'm saying, they ain't trying to look and see their
Yeah, I saw some
quarterback.
things this week.
You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
They don't want their quarterback. They're used to Tom Brady, professional. Patrick Mahomes. They're professional. They come up they say what they got to say. They're always on point. They're not about them. Come on now. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's what.
but
Yeah,
Ben, how many people? How many coaches were actually going to be there? He announced that last night, and the deal is today. Who else going? You didn't even give people time to go to watch it.
yeah.
I mean, if
You didn't even,
I'm a team, and you're telling me last night, and I'm throwing this morning, how am I going to get there? You know
you're
what I
not.
mean? And I promise you, Auburn didn't have that many people at their scouting combine. Out of 32
No,
teams, what did they
definitely not.
have? 20, maybe. Out of 32, you think all 32 teams were at Auburn today?
I'd say not.
I don't think so either. So, but we shall find out how many were actually there.
I'd say, yeah. I mean, the good thing about nowadays, they can do all that over Zoom. That's probably the only good thing.
Hey,
but
by the way,
I don't even think all. I mean, what? Probably 5 teams watched.
By the way, I
10
was
teams,
going to
maybe.
say this. What do you think about what the Big 12 is doing next year? Where they're holding one pro day for all the Big 12 schools in one location.
I think that's a great idea.
I thought so too. I was like, why wouldn't all these teams think about it? You got one pro day. You got everybody there. You've got the kids from each school. and they're throwing or they're catching or
I think
whatever,
that's great,
all in one deal.
and like it'll show that you could throw to different receivers too. So like OSU quarterback could throw to TCU wide receiver and whatnot just on different drills. It'll help show both you guys can adapt and learn, and I think that's great because, like I was just saying, like with the Zoom stuff, I think that's. I mean, I know like for the scouting combine and all that stuff here for the NFL, it was very slow this year. But they all like every team was represented. It just wasn't head coaches for all of them. Like
Yeah,
they're
most
like, I
head
can just
coaches
watch
didn't
this
go.
on tape.
Yeah,
It's like it's why am I even there? So I mean, I think it's good if they do that because it'll like just given that like if you're doing one-on-one drills or I mean you can do 40 times like it'll help push all these guys to like maybe want to throw or maybe
yeah,
want to catch or maybe want to try and do the cone drill instead of not doing it. I think that's a great idea.
yeah. Because to me, I think what that does is now all the conferences will do that because it's great for the teams. It's great for the
Yeah,
scouts. It's great for everybody. You have one day, you have all the SEC teams, all the Big 12 teams, all the Big 10
yeah,
teams, all the Pac 12 teams, all the whatever American Conference, whatever it is, all of
I
them
think
are
it's
one
great.
day all together. It makes it a lot easier
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everything. Makes it
And I
just
mean, when they
does.
do when they do their little one-on-ones and stuff, it'll be good too. It'll be
Yeah.
better.
But
You
the
know what I
question
mean?
is, I wonder
So
where
I think
they're
it'll
going to
be
do.
good.
What school would you do it at? I guess if you're the Big 12,
You'd
would you
have
go
to
to
just,
Dallas,
yeah,
or would you
probably.
do it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean,
It's the best
which?
facility.
Well, I guess the
Yeah,
best facility would either be Stillwater or OU, don't you think, or Texas? One of those three are the best. Have the best
yeah. I
facilities for
mean,
that to happen.
yeah, I would say so because Houston wouldn't be as good. I wouldn't think. I don't think it's up
No,
yet.
Houston's no
Once they get
OSU.
into
It
Big
would be
12,
it would be
probably
OSU.
update.
It'd be OU, OSU, or Texas.
Yeah,
It'd be
I
one of
think
those
yeah.
three schools with the
They do
best.
Jerry World. They would just do Jerry World. I think.
That's what I would think. Just do Jerry World and just be right there, which the
Yeah,
Cowboys
then
would love.
yeah, like
They
then
don't have to go
there's
anywhere.
plenty of places
They don't
over
have
on
to
the
go
West
anywhere.
Coast and stuff.
Or you can do it at Kansas City, but it'd probably be too cold to
Yeah.
do it in Chiefs Kingdom.
Oh yeah, and then everybody loves Indianapolis. I know that.
Yeah, but the Big 12 is really don't. That's
Yeah. I'm saying like
that's
up north.
Indiana.
I'm
That's
saying like
really
I was
not.
trying to
Yeah.
think like there'd probably be like four. There'd probably be like what for the five major conferences, and then probably like one or
Well,
two extras for like.
each conference would have their own, depending on where they'd
Yeah,
have
yeah.
it. So the Big 12 would either be either one of those three schools or in Jerry World. Then you'd have because remember Houston and Houston, who is it? Houston, Cincinnati, Brigham Young, and who's the other one? Who's the other
Houston,
ones?
Cincinnati, BYU, and
Team in Florida. Who is it?
FSU.
God.
No.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
not sure.
I can't think. Wow, that's going to skip me. And as soon as
Um,
I get
uh,
off air, I'll think about it. So anyway,
yeah,
brother.
exactly.
All
And
right.
then speaking of Houston, though, I did see Dalton Schultz signed out there with them. The
The Cowboys,
Cowboys
man.
tight end.
Dude, the Cowboys, dude.
Yeah, they got him and Devin Singletary.
I mean, I'm telling you,
They signed both of them.
Houston is quietly sneaking up in everybody. And they're probably going to get Bryce Young.
I think so too.
Because, and I don't blame Carolina. I'd probably take C.J. Stroud over him too for the long term. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
but,
the odds on that stuff is crazy. It keeps
we
bouncing
don't even
around
know.
like
We don't even
insane.
know. Yeah. So, all right, brother. Peace out.
All right, well, you have a good one.
You
Cheers.
too. Cheers to you. That's my guy, Hashtag Harry Ben Dillman, giving us the insight, helping us get the show done today. That being said, everybody have a fantastic day. Peace out. And I want to thank George's Happy Hog for them allowing us to come in today and do our show live remote. And I want to thank YNB and their sponsorship for us going out and doing live remotes at Black, minority, and women-owned businesses. That being said,